Hi, and welcome to the Law Simplified. I'm Shaveen Bandarnayaka. Many students, be it on my Fast Track or Masterclass program, or even those who watch these videos on the YouTube channel, as well as the different platforms that the Law Simplified is disseminated on, often find it perplexing that the knowledge that they have and the understanding of the law that they may have doesn't reflect in the final classification or the grade that they receive from an examiner. Now, more often than not, I've tried to impress upon everyone that a law degree is much more about how you think as opposed to what you know. But that being said, sometimes it's not really the fact that you might not be thinking appropriately or that you lack the necessarily analytical thinking abilities, but rather the fact that you might not be able to present it properly to an examiner that might be able to appreciate the way that you're thinking. As such, this video is meant to give you a quick brief on how to articulate and present an introduction to an essay question, for instance, to showcase to an examiner that not only do you have the relevant legal knowledge, but you are able to articulate and wrap that knowledge into an argument that provides a greater understanding of the law. That being said, let's have a quick look at how to draft an introduction to a very specific essay question in public law or constitutional and administrative law so that you get a better understanding of how to create the necessary structure required to impress your examiner. If you like the content that I make, as well as the lessons that are available on the Law Simplified platform, do subscribe to the Law Simplified channel and make sure you hit the thumbs up button and give a like to this video as well. That being said, let's begin. This question, right? So because it says discuss, it's a wide question. It means they are telling you don't limit yourself to rule of law. You might have to talk about other aspects as well, which is fair. But then you have to start peeling the onion somewhat. So it says whether the doctrine of the rule of law. So when they say the doctrine of the rule of law, when you hear the word doctrine, that suggests something which is set in stone. It's a doctrine. Like you are indoctrinated. That itself tells you, okay, maybe they're talking about something which is quantifiable and tangible and like set up. So you have to question that. Then it says has a sufficiently certain meaning. So then you have to start thinking, why is it saying that? Why does it need to have a sufficiently certain meaning? And does it have a sufficiently certain meaning? What is meant by certain meaning? And then you start seeing why they're asking that. To be a useful guiding principle for the United Kingdom law. United Kingdom constitutional law. So then you have to ask, why does the United Kingdom constitutional law even need a guiding principle? The reason is because it's uncodified. There is no written or solitary singular location in which the law is there. It's all over the place. It's in various formats. That is why it is searching for a guiding principle. So if we were to put this into a very simple breakdown, right? What it's asking is rule of law certain enough to provide a structure for UK's uncodified constitution? This is what they're asking us. So you have to read deeper into a question, right? For this question, right? Because what it's really asking is whether this concept of rule of law is enough to give the relevant structure and stability for an uncodified constitution like the UK's. And the way we answer this is you'll come to the conclusion that it in itself isn't certain because of all these critiques that have been leveled against Dicey, for example. So it's not sure in itself, right? So overall, from a spider graph standpoint, anything under rule of law is part and parcel of your answer. almost everything here we will be talking about. But structurally, for instance, let me just put something here. So you would have your introduction, and in your introduction, you will have your interpretation of the statement. So how you see it, yeah, and then your roadmap of the response. This is how you are intending to tackle it. So, for example, if I have to say the interpretation of the question, this would be something like: the statement invites the reader to consider whether Dicey's exposition of the rule of law provides the necessary structure UK's uncodified constitution. And then what I mean by the roadmap is essentially like how I'm going to answer this, right? Determining the Dicey's lens certainty exposition and okay. So essentially we tell the examiner what we have understood and how we are going to tackle it. Yeah. Right. That was a brief example of how you can formulate and structure an introduction to not only help the examiner understand what's working in your mind, but also to create a roadmap for yourself so that you are able to articulate and traverse the response that you're giving in a methodical manner. If you'd like to have a look at how best to articulate responses for other subjects as well as different topics in those relevant modules, make sure you have a look at the Law Simplified online law school, where comprehensive courses are available in relation to the theory as well as tutorials and workshops, where we go through A to Z of articulating responses for different modules and different topics as well. But that being said, until the next time that we meet, have fun, stay safe, and as always, obey the law.